All right. So let me just make sure everything's working. So recently my streaming software updated and it messed up a lot of my settings. So hopefully this is still okay. But today, what we are going to be talking about, we have a ton of stuff to talk about. So it's been a long time. I haven't been streaming recently on Tuesdays, but there have been so many news in the world of Epic 7 that what we're going to be doing today is talking about all the news that I missed while I was gone last week. So that is going to be things such as the Elphelt buffs that are coming out, some of the new RTA changes that came out, they're trying out in the that are coming out in the RTA rooms, and of course we gotta talk about the spiciest thing. This is gonna be a pretty long discussion today, I'm sure of, that I am gonna save till later in the video, which is going to be the player bans. Normally I don't really cover player bans, but this one's particularly interesting because the big thing is the players that got banned. There's a lot of hot, like top level players that got banned, including the #1 player in the world, Suck. So hopefully I'll give you guys the news, I'll give you guys the updates, I'll give you guys the juice, and try to give you first informed so you guys can make your own decisions, and then of course I'll give you guys my own opinion. But first we're gonna cover some of the facts and all that stuff. So a ton of stuff to cover, as well as some channel updates that if you saw, I am hosting a tournament this Friday and Saturday, and it's gonna be hype. And I will show that to you guys later on as we get more people, because it is going to be crazy fun. The matches have been amazing. All the early game matches have been great, and it's been really, really good. So a lot of stuff to talk about, way too much stuff to talk about. So hopefully we'll just go through it and have a nice chat. Hufer, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about the tournament, bro. I was hoping that you get all the way to the stream. So there are going to be offline matches. I'll show brackets and all that stuff as we get discussing some stuff. And hey, what's up? Nice guy, Wobble. But okay, let me turn on my camera. Everything's mixed up now because now it's on like the other side. So if you see me not looking at the camera, it's probably because I'm not. It's because it kind of changed up like my setting. I don't know why the software's not letting me do that. But okay, first let's start with the basic news, right? Let's start with the easy stuff, which is going to be the buffs, right? So really cool buffs, especially to Elphelt. So we're going to be talking about Elphelt buffs, as well as the Elphelt buffs, as well as the, I forget his guy, So Bad Guy buffs, who is also getting buffs, and it's actually pretty significant buffs for a unit that everyone gets. So we're going to start with this, then we're going to move to the RTA changes, and then lastly, the conversation will go to the banned players. Hey, what's up, Camway? What's up, nice guy? I did not manage to record any of the matches, Jake, sadly. And I did miss the time. I forgot I needed to eat dinner, and I was stalling a lot for that. Mid Koi boss, yeah, that'll be cool. But all right, let's talk about these, right? Because next week is going to be GG Collab Rerun. Whether you know this or not, it's GG Collab Rerun. But it's also going to be Tamarine's banner rerun this week, which is just absolutely crazy. We'll talk about that too. There's so much stuff to talk about. But let's just start with something, and then we'll move forward to the other stuff. So first, Soul Bad Guy buffs. So if you guys don't know who Soul Bad Guy is, let me show you guys so you guys can see who he is. Soul Bad Guy is this guy. He actually comes for free in the event. All you have to do is play the event, and you'll be able to get him to triple assess, which is kind of nice because he's actually a really good PvE unit, right? And it's a free 5-star. Pretty good stats. Like the speed is amazing, the crit rate's amazing, his base stat lines are actually really strong, and you will get him triple SS, which means you will get the 18%. So he's the one that's getting those buffs, right? So let's actually see the buffs that he's getting. So it's kind of weird because before, the way he used to work is that he used to be kind of a counter to Oxlots. Think Celine. He was a Celine of sorts, where he would counter a unit that doesn't use an attack skill, and then he would punish that. They changed him from being a Celine to being his own thing, which is an AoE counter attacker. There's some really cool things about this that add with this element and potential counters to certain units in the meta right now. So looking for some of the things, right? So first, Gunflame, right? So this is the S1. Before, it used to be very basic. It was just an S1, gave you Fighting Spirit, 100 Fighting Spirits, what triggers his ability. What it's gonna do now is when you S1 and you get 100 Fighting Spirit, so it's after attacking, which means that if you're at 80% and you attack, you get the last 20%, you will trigger this skill, right? They did add the condition that it cannot be triggered by a counterattack. This used to not be there. You could actually proc this passive, the Roman Candle passive. You used to be able to proc it on a counterattack, which used to be kind of cool for him, but they did take that away. He can't proc it on a counterattack. Kind of sucks in that aspect, but essentially what it does is you essentially get an extra attack, consumes Volcanic Spirit, extends your buff duration by 1 turn, and gets you an extra turn, right? So pretty good buff. I think this used to actually be a damage skill. I think it used to attack again, if I remember correctly. I might be thinking of Volcanic Viper, but I think this used to do an extra attack or something when he used to get the Fighting Spirit. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's nice. Gives him an extra turn, extends his buffs, and it's nice, right? So basically you get an extra turn. Nothing crazy, right? Now the other one's the Volcanic Viper. Honestly, when I was reading this, I was like, there's so much reading. It's one of the biggest changes they've done. It's basically a whole rework. You want to use Mage, yeah. But all right, let's keep going with Soul Guy. I'll read the chat after I finish talking about Soul Bad Guy. So the second one is going to be Volcanic Viper. When he uses a non-attack skill, this is what he used to be his old passive. He used to do a counterattack, right? On the unit that used a non-attack skill. What he does now is that he increases his own combat readiness by 20% and gains 20 fighting spirit, right? This is going to be a restriction that's only 2 per turn. He used to not have this. He's a completely different unit. But essentially, if they use Oxalt S2, if they use Rowana S2, will actually trigger this. Elena S2 will trigger this. Any extra skill that's a non-attack skill, he will be gaining 20% and 20 fighting spirit. It can only happen once every 2 turns though. That's the only problem with it. The other part that they added to it is the part that I think is really interesting. We finally got to the interesting stuff. I know, this is like a whole paragraph of reading. Hey, what's up, Elias? Thanks for dropping by, Key. But yeah, the big thing for this one is going to be that he can actually counterattack Volcanic Viper against attackers. Why I think this is interesting is because this is a skill attack. What this means is that things like Landy, right? This is the big one. Landy's S3 says cannot be counterattacked. But if you think of someone like Seaside, Seaside activates her skill on a Landy S3. She'll proc her S2 and she'll like throw her fan and she'll hit you with the S2 and decrease defense. So Bad Guy is going to be working the exact same way as Seaside in that aspect. If Landy does the S3, even though Landy's S3 says no counterattack, this is a skill condition. You are getting hit by an AoE attack. You will be proccing a Volcanic Viper. You will be counterattacking that Landy. This will trigger against Fallen Cecilia. It'll trigger against things like T-Surin. This is more thinking about things like Guild Wars. We're trying to see a lot more Landy. That's the place where it's actually really interesting. It can also trigger on Cleave units, right? This will trigger, I believe, on a Faithless Litica, right? So a Faithless Litica, if they use an S2, this will trigger on the Faithless Litica S2. It should, right? So when that Litica does the S2, because it's a skill that targets our allies, it's an activation of a skill, it will target the Faithless Litica, even though Faithless Litica says no counterattacks. So again, pretty nice. A little nice free-to-play counter to Faithless Litica, which is great. And it will attack that unit. Yes, Landy plus Guiding Light is very annoying. But it's pretty cool, right? So he has the potential to counter Landy and has the potential to counter things like Faithless Litica that do AoE skills. Even though they said do not counterattack, it's a skill. It will trigger, it will counter these units. So a free-to-play option against Litica, which we don't see as often anymore. And against Landy, the only problem against Landy is that it's the first time, there's no condition, and it's only once per turn, right? Each effect can only be activated once every 2 turns, which means that you only get this 20% CR push. It's very rare. I almost feel like they shouldn't have restricted this one to 2 per turn. They should have done 1 per turn for this one. I think that would have made it a lot more impactful. And then kept this one 2 turns. That's fine. He only needs 1 turn. Like once every 2 turns, that's fine. But this one I'm surprised they actually restricted. It's not like OP or anything. Like, yes, it's nice. It can actually cut in certain teams and can be annoying. But it's kind of weird. And it should actually counter Polides S2, Jake. Because Polides S2 is an AoE attack that hits all allies. And it's like Seaside. If you did Polides S2 on a Seaside, Seaside would trigger her skill, which means that Soul Bad Guy should trigger his skill on a Polides S2. Pretty cool. But again, yes, as Myth mentioned, against Landy, there's usually things like T-Surin that come before a Landy. Fallen Cecilia always comes before a Landy. So it's very unlikely that he'll be a proper Landy counter. But against Faithless Litica, that's pretty cool. Polides has potential to counter. Very cool buff. Very unique. I don't think we have a unit that does this. So I'm actually pretty excited for it. The restrictions are fine. And then, of course, there's Volcanic Viper, which is essentially the attack that inflicts silence for 2 turns. It does quite a lot of damage. It can actually kill a lot of heroes, so it's pretty nice, right? So as long as they do an AoE attack, they can do it. It'll be interesting to see how people actually play around with them, especially because it's a free... Oh, man, what did we just do? I don't know I could do that. Okay. But pretty nice. And then, of course, the ultimate basically is going to be this added benefit. The only thing that this added benefit does is if you hit things like Rylet, it's pretty nice, right? So if you hit a Rylet with the skill, you'll still proc the extra damage, right? So kind of cool. If you're going against water, it's cool. That's nice. This used to be what you use against Chaerons. It used to be a very old tech against Chaeron because you're able to dispel all debuffs and apply unable to be buffed, and then you would proc extra damage. Well, now it'll do extra damage regardless of the hit. So pretty cool. I like it. I think it's cool. They buffed the stats as well, which is like pretty significant. But yeah, Soul versus G-Proc is not great. But yeah, I think it'll be cool. Decided a little bit, yeah, she was a big one. And I think he's exciting. I don't think he'll have a massive impact, but I think it'll be a good spice pick. And the fact that everyone gets him, everyone will have a Soul bad guy is really cool to have as an option for Faithless Lidica. So it's kind of a counter to Cleave, which is nice. And then also just like has potential to be very spicy. He was already a good PvE hero just because of how much damage he could actually do. So they just made that part aspect. It's still really, really strong. Now Elphelt. Oh man, Elphelt. So again, if you guys don't know who Elphelt is, because it has been a while since the GG collab, she was arguably one of the worst units in the game. When you talked about Elphelt, it was a failed limited. Most people called her the worst limited unit, and for a good reason. She does not have a good kit. She has terrible ratios. She was not doing hot at all. No one was like, people would try to use her because she looks good and she looks cool, and people really wanted to make her work, but she wasn't really making an impact on the meta. She had a cool S3, you know, it had the potential. The S2 was cool, but she just didn't have the damage, right? And we even talked about it in the top 5 weakest unit in Pick 7. She was actually part of that list because she was actually very underwhelming. Well, that is no more. And hey, Moises, it's good to be back. But alpha buffs are enormous. These are arguably something that you will have to watch out for. If you're a player that hates Cleave, Cleave is gonna be way stronger after this. So if you're, it's gonna be rough. Why? Right? What's the situations? Why is Elphelt so much better than she used to be in the past? Yeah, it's gonna be huge uses for her. So starting off with the S1, just a raw damage just a raw damage increase, nothing crazy. The S1 wasn't necessarily a selling point for her. It was never one of her best skills. It is a nice debuff and it does work for certain PvE stages, but that's not that big of a deal, right? The S1 is nothing crazy. The rest of the kit though is where you really start seeing where she gets crazy. So this one is the S2. Before, it used to be a AoE increased crit rate, and when the enemy's defeated, you could reduce the defense of all enemies for 2 turns, assuming they don't have immunity. This does go through effectiveness check. It goes through all that good stuff, right? And of course, the damage was according to the debuffs. Well, now what you get is attack buff, which is a lot more scary because you're setting up an attack buff for a potential Cleave team. That's huge. Crit buff, yeah, it's cool, it's whatever. Usually your DPSs already have 100% crit, so the crit rate buff wasn't really doing anything. The attack buff, think of Operator Sigrid. Operator Sigrid right now is one of the best Cleave pieces. It's one of the pieces that all Cleave players are like, I want an Operator Sigrid, because she's able to set up the team and is able to also increase the attack of the rest of the allies. Really, really good stuff on Operator Sigrid. Well, now Elphelt also increases attack. And the other thing is, instead of having to kill the enemy with the S2, if you hit a slept ally, that's the AoE decreased defense. So now you have a unit, and we'll see the S3 in a second, which is also ridiculous. They also increase the damage, which if this is significant enough, it's ridiculous. It's gonna be ridiculous what she can actually do. She can actually one-shot a unit and set up an AoE decreased defense. So we'll have to wait for the ratios. I don't know if they're out or not for the actual skill now that it got buffed. But if they're slept with the S2, you're able to get on a unit that can strip, on a unit that has a fast base speed. Her base speed is up there with Faithless Lidica, right? Her base speed, I believe, is like 115. Yeah, it's a 115 based unit, so pretty fast in the grand scheme of things. A 115 based unit that can strip, that can set up herself, that can set up attack buff, that can sleep and take out a priority target, all in one unit, that can AoE decrease defense and AoE increase attack. She does everything. She actually does everything that a Cleave player would ever dream of. Cleave players are like, this is the unit. This is it. I don't think there's any Cleave player that's not going to be using her. The other thing is she is consistent. She will always do her job. Always. Why? Because of the soul burn that's on the S3. But let's look at the S3, right? Let's actually look at the S3. So before, it used to only strip 1 buff. Now, you can strip 2 buffs before hitting the enemy. Why is this word change important? This is a Rylot counter as well, right? So if you hate Rylot, you got another Rylot counter on a Cleave team, right? No need to bring F Flurry anymore. Elphelt does the job for you. Granted, if there's a Fallen Cecilia on the board, it's only 2 debuffs. That's the one thing you do have to watch out for. If there is a Fallen Cecilia, you will not be able to strip the immunity, but you will strip the evasion, and you will strip the barrier if it's against PvE. If it's in arena and stuff like that, you'll strip those 2, and he'll keep his immunity, right? But that's still, you're probably gonna kill him at that point. So another Rylot counter, and a lot of other stuff that's actually really, really good. What's up, Tab? And you don't need answering. You technically don't. And I'll talk about the potential teams with her because I think she'll actually check up the meta. She will definitely be seeing play after this buff. She will be a unit that you should consider pulling, especially if you play Cleave. If you play Cleave, this is a no-brainer. If you're a Cleave player, you have to pull for Elphelt. She's your priority. She's the unit you're going for next week because she's gonna be that important for cleaving, right? So now looking through it, okay, so the spells to debuffs before the enemy, before attacking, that means you're able to strip pretty much most things in the game. You can strip FCC barrier and immunity, that's all you really need to care about. Rylot is a special scenario that starts with 3 buffs, but you're able to strip that, and you're able to put them to sleep, and I believe decrease defense, right? Yeah, and you decrease defense. So think Falconeer Clury, right? Her S3 is basically, for all intents and purposes, it is next week as Celestan. It's next week for the GG Cole banner. But for all intents and purposes, her S3 is Falconeer Clury's S3. And I mean that quite literally. Because when you look at her soul burn, do you guys see this right now? Ignore effect resistance. Yes, it takes 20 souls, but it's exactly like Falconeer Clury. But this one gives her an extra turn. So unlike Falconeer Clury, once you do your S3, Falconeer Clury, you know, she has other things that make Falconeer Clury. But for Elphelt, you get an extra turn for free. That's crazy, dude. Like just thinking about that, I'm just like, you can soul burn this, guarantee yourself a decreased defense and a sleep and a full strip, right? So you're guaranteed to get these 2 debuffs on the enemy on a unit that's quite fast. I believe about the same speed, if not faster than Falconeer Clury. That also has the potential to attack buffs your team, and has the potential to AoE decrease defense, all in one unit. That's ridiculous. And if the damage increase is significant enough, you can literally kill a unit from the start of the battle, right? You can take out a Rylot from turn 1, and there's nothing they can do about it. If you soul burn this and you hit the Rylot, GG, your Rylot's gone. She's also a ranger, has access to guiding light, so you're guaranteed for her to get her turn. Can't really speed contest her unless you have an AoE speed contester that can hit her and stun her, which is very hard to do. She can counter Bazaar pretty well because she has the faster base speed between her and Bazaar, and because she's able to set up the decreased defense and the sleep, can do that. The other thing is that for Elphelt, something you need to know about sleep that I think is going to be one of the reasons. You might be thinking, right? Is she going to be really hard to build? Yes. She's going to be impossible to build, almost. What she wants to have is like insane speed and insane damage stat, but it's actually not that hard to do. Why? You don't need to give her effectiveness, and you don't need to give her crit rate, right? You might be wondering, why don't you need to give her crit rate? Why, right? That sounds dumb, right? You're probably thinking, King Blair, why would you ever say you don't need to give her crit rate? That sounds stupid to me. Well, if you didn't know this mechanic existed, when you attack a slept ally, you get 100% crit. Think about that. So you could theoretically make her extremely fast, with extremely high attack and extremely high crit damage, no crit rate. You can soul burn this S3, get a guaranteed strip, get a guaranteed decreased defense, get a guaranteed sleep, which means you get a guaranteed follow-up crit, and can one-shot a unit. Don't need effectiveness, don't need crit rate. All you need is speed and damage. That's it. That's all you need on her. You make her 280 plus speed. If you get a soul burn, you're killing anything in this game essentially, right? Or you're taking them out of the fight, right? You don't have to kill the enemy. This is sleep for 2 turns. Yes, you don't get the decreased defense, but you're still getting an AoE attack buff. So you don't need to go for the kill. You can just use this to take out a priority target unit like fucking your Clury, Bassar, Polides. That's the big one. You take out a Polides. You can set up into your CDOM. You can set up into the rest of your Cleave. Don't need to worry about Polides. And hey, what's up, FAL? So, very, very cool unit. It's gonna be very meta defining for Cleave. I do not see a Cleave not wanting to run this unit. And the thing about it is she fits into a variety of Cleaves. So where can I see her? How can I see her be used? Maybe you want the big brain, right? Maybe you want the big brain. And yes, Tywin is the only one that can give attack and decrease defense. Trung. But the thing is, she does AoE decrease defense and AoE attack buff. A Tywin only does 1. So just let that sink in, right? I said, is she a must pull? If you're a Cleave player, yes. If you're not a Cleave player, I would highly suggest it just because she's a limited unit. You're not going to see her for another year. Right? And you don't know how impactful she will be until it's actually too late, right? Because usually it takes people a couple of weeks to build and to test out. I can tell you she's going to be impactful if you're a Cleave player for sure. If you're not a Cleave player, she also still has potential. But as far as Cleave teams I could see her be used in, any Cleave team wants her, right? Why does any Cleave team want her? She counters Polides. Cleave right now was struggling against Polides because you couldn't use non-attack skills. But if you make a Elphelt that's faster than Polides, which is not hard to do, and that's faster than potentially your Oxlots, you can start the fight with her, take out Polides, and then set up the rest of your Cleave, no problem, right? You only need 3 units to do a Cleave. She can fit in that last 4th slot to take out Polides. So Polides, not that scary on arena defense anymore. Just take her out and then Cleave with the rest of your units. You still have the Oxlots, you still have the CDOM, and then you still have the main Cleaver. Could be a Judge Kisei, could be whatever you want, right? It's still a very traditional Cleave, right? But Elphelt is there, going before the Oxlots to take out the Polides. You still have enough soul burns for it. It's perfect. And you get an attack buff on top of all that, right? The other Cleave team I can see is a Tywin or regular Tywin. Oh man, regular Tywin is like, why would you build them at this point? She just does Tywin's job, but 100 times better, right? When you think of Tywin, the reason why Tywin used to be used was because he could attack buff, he could set up the rest of your Cleave. Well, now you can still use that original Cleave with a slower Elphelt, where you have Bassar S3 the opponent, push them back, and then you get to follow up with someone like her, set up an AoE decreased defense and attack buff. Right? That's another Cleave option for you. And that's just me thinking. I'm not even a Cleave player. Think about that. I'm not a Cleave player. I'm not like qualified to talk to you about all the potential Cleaves that are out there that she can enable. But just me as a player, just reading her kit, I see how much potential this unit has, and it is absolutely ridiculous. Doesn't even matter if she does damage. She could do 0 damage. She's still OP. Lock down 1 unit, set up attack buff. That's all you could want in a Cleave unit. Right? Her S3 does deal damage. So it does deal damage, but it's very low. It's not like super crazy, but it does actually deal damage. Am I gonna be a Cleave player soon? Might. But all right, let me see some of the stuff y'all have been talking about. Yes, Cerise Cleave should also work for her. Again, you can just counter Polides with Elphelt. It just means that you'll have, it's very gear needed. You'll need a lot of gear to actually make her work with Cerise and stuff like that. Hernan asking for bruisers. Yes and no. She has very high requirements, and without the soul burn, this S3 is not as consistent. So if you're someone that likes to gamble, like with Volcanic Viper is still the better option for bruiser players. But if you're trying to build a more aggressive bruiser team, like you want to take turn 1, a bruiser team that wants to take turn 1, she's a very good option. She can lock down Bassar, potentially kill Bassar if she's fast enough. It'll just be a little bit harder because you're relying on RNG since you probably won't have a mage. So that's the only problem. You probably won't have a mage, which means you're not going to get the soul burn that gets a guaranteed dispel, guaranteed lockdown, potential guaranteed kill, right? So it can still work, can still be a really good Falconeer counter, Flurry, can be a really good Bazaar counter, just if you don't play Cleave. So very, very good in that aspect. One of the things that Aselstan that you mentioned, Dizzy, yes, Dizzy right now is a very early game unit. I will talk about all the GG collab units once we get closer. But right now, if you're a late game player, the one you really want to go for is Elphelt. Dizzy is mostly for PvE and for early game. She doesn't really see that much PvP presence anymore. She's basically an Akali in terms of build. But Kit does have a lot of potential. Do I think that the GG Club will be again next year? Yes, but you can never count on it, right? You always have to make sure you pull the limits because you never know what's going to happen. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Well, let me see some of the other stuff. I'm just reading through all this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of Cleaves. I can't cover all the Cleaves. I'm not a Cleave player. I can't expect what she's going to do. A lot of really good stuff. Confile, again, amazing on her. What against team-wide immunity? At Serene, it doesn't even matter because very few Cleaves actually run decreased defense, right? Most Cleavers just care about getting the attack buff. Think of Operator Sigrid, right? That's the case in point. Operator Sigrid is insane right now because she's able to set up attack buff and push the enemy back and get you turn 1. Elphelt is able to take out a priority target unit at the start of the fight and set up your team for attack buff, right? So kind of different things. They do different things. They'll fit into different Cleaves. They can potentially even play well together. But I think of her as a Falconeer Chloe mixed with Operator Sigrid. The decreased defense is icing on top, right? The big thing is she takes out a priority target unit. In this case, potentially a Polides, right? If you're struggling with Polides as a cleaver, she can just take out Polides out of the fight with the S3. And then you're kind of just chilling and set up attack buff for the rest of your team. So a lot of potential there. So requirements are going to be ridiculous on her. I think she's going to need to have 280 speed plus for the setup variant. For the variant that I've been talking about this stuff the whole time, I expect her to have extreme stats. Like, she needs ridiculous stats. She needs to be fast enough to outspeed your own setup and to outspeed your opponent's threats. And she needs to be strong enough to one-shot squishy units. So the stat requirements are really high, right? It's not a unit that if you're an early game player, you probably won't be using her that much. She also does have the Cleave build. If you just want her as a support, that does damage, you can put her as like 230 speed or even lower and just have her set up like a Tywin, right? You can have her be like a Tywin where you set up with a Bazaar and then you follow up with your Cdom and your Elphelt, or follow up with like Bazaar, then you follow up with Elphelt, then you go Cdom and your Cleaver, right? There's a lot of other options that you can do. The one really cool thing is the fact that this decreased defense doesn't need to hit the ally. It's kind of like Flan. You can hit things like T-Surin with this. You can hit things like Emocans with this. You don't have to worry about the Emocans or even the Rylets, right? You don't have to worry about dodging as long as they don't have immunity, of course. Since you're not actually hitting them, you're just transferring the decreased defense with this one, right? So very cool. And of course, even if you don't get the decreased defense, you're still getting the attack. The gear requirements are going to be ridiculous though. But this is kind of like Elphelt's S3 because it doesn't actually attack the enemy. You're attacking the enemy that is slept. The rest of the enemies just get it, kind of like a Flan, right? So think Flan. It's like all these units combined. Final thoughts on her. If you were a Cleave player, it's a must pull unit. If you're thinking about playing Cleave, it's a must pull unit, right? If you hate Rylet, it's a must pull unit, right? There's a lot of situations which is really good. Really good Bazaar counter. Really good F-Glory counter, right? It's a unit you want in your repertoire. You may not use her right now, but you may regret if you don't actually pull for her. That's where I stand with her. If you're a Cleaver, you have to pull for her. I think this gives life to Cleavers. Cleavers were getting Cleavers still are cleaving, right? Cleavers will always cleave, but this will allow traditional Cleaves to become more normal. And in Arena, as Taff mentioned, with the current teams being Polides, FCC, T-Surin, and Roana, this takes out Polides, so you can still traditional Cleave. You can set up with an Elphelt and then just go with your normal Cleave, right? Just thinking about a couple that you could use. You could do Elphelt into like anything you want, honestly. But with this, it's a lot nicer because it kind of counters Polides. It's a Cleave counter for Polides and for other stuff that could potentially threaten them. So all in all, really good buffs. I was not expecting them to go this direction with Elphelt. I am happy that they did. Traditional Cleave was not in a good spot. Cleave is still okay, but traditional Cleave was not in a good spot. So this will be really, really cool. To answer some of the questions that may be coming in your mind, right? There's Dizzy, there's Baiken, and there's there's Elphelt. If you're an early game player, your #1 priority is Dizzy, because she will help you in PvE. She'll help you progress your account, right? So if you're a new game player, you're pulling for Dizzy. If you're a late game player though, if you have to choose, I would honestly recommend the Elphelt over the Dizzy if you're a late game player, right? Because at late game, you don't really need Dizzy for the PvE. She's kind of a niche build right now. She's not really doing a lot in the meta. She's still very strong for PvE. She can still be used, but it's like I have not used my Dizzy in like 6 months, even though I have like really good gear on her. So it's pretty interesting. But this is very Cleave right now was getting very creative. So I see what's, but yeah, Dizzy really good for Abyss and all that stuff. So if you're a late game player, I recommend Alpha. And if you just are wondering, I don't really know, King, who should I go for? You're more likely to use this Elphelt in the near future than you are to use your Dizzy, especially if you're a Cleave player. If you're a Cleave player, it's a no-brainer. If you're a Cleave player, you are pulling for Elphelt. That's my recommendation. Cleave player, you have to pull for Elphelt. If you're early game player, Dizzy. Baiken, honestly, completely honest with y'all, it should be everyone's lowest priority. You may be saying, oh, but then I can't one-shot Banshee. No, you can. There's literally a 2-star that one-shots Banshee, right? You can easily replace Baiken with a little bit more farming, right? And it's a lot easier, right? So if I actually know a person that actually does this team, if you really are into one-shotting Banshee, yes, Baiken makes it easier, but are you really gonna pull for a 5-star and give up Alpha and all that stuff for a Banshee one-shot when there's a 2-star hero that does it with a specific team? Yes, you can do the Banshee 3-man, right? That's the only thing. You can't do the Banshee 3-man like I do it, but I think this guy can actually do a really good job. How are mice human? That's just weird to me. But Mighty Scout. This guy, oh yeah, he one-shots Banshee. Because he penetrates defense and does a ton of single target damage. I actually know someone that actually uses him. You do need Leo for this to work, but it's pretty consistent. So yeah. You don't need Baiken. Baiken is your lowest priority. Baiken, it's like if you pull for her, that's cool and all. Lowest priority. This guy, he claps. He claps Banshee. He basically can do Baiken's job with needs a little bit higher gear requirements than Baiken, but this guy does it. If you really care about one-shotting Banshee, I highly suggest you look up Mighty Scout one-shot Banshee. You will see it. It can happen, right? But of course, Baiken's just easier. I run my Baiken for it. It's of course because I have her triple SS. This is whatever, you know. Let me see some of the comments because I've been talking about. You can't really compare Dizzy and Tama. Yes, Tama is the best PvE unit in the game. Dizzy's different though. She helps a lot in the early stages of the game, like a lot, especially in Abyss. She's like invaluable in Abyss. Oh, Crooked. I know that's a joke. That stings a little bit, but I appreciate the joke. It's pretty funny. We'll get to that though, Crooked. We'll get to that. I'm not actually hurt by it. That's actually really funny. Yeah, I didn't do great, but no, I did not get banned, and we'll get to that in a second. I will do one pin on the banner. I lost that on the Guilty Gear collab. Yeah, you only really need Alpha, to be honest. Alpha and Miss Confound are the big ones. Everything else is just nice to have, right? You ideally want all three because you never know, but it's just there's other stuff you can get. Mouse stat requirements. Let me show you guys a video, and I know Dio has one, but let me pull it up for you guys. Now that you guys are asking me, right? The things you can find on YouTube are pretty insane. All right, let me see if I can find a video that shows it. That shows the stats. That's the big one. People are very particular with the stats. I don't know where people are so like. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna show you guys my stats. All right, this guy shows the stats. Right? Look at this. It's not even that bad. All right, check this out. Check this out. He uses Leo, right? Which is fine. Because that's another way you can lower the stat requirements is using a Leo. And like the Vivian stats are really low if you use Leo, so you can still do a 4-man quite easily, but you can just get a better mouse. So it gets the decreased defense, gets the target, gets a little poke damage with the Vivian, which is always nice. You can do the same thing with the Karen. You guys saw that, right? I know it was fast, but you guys saw the damage, right? You guys think I'm lying, but I'm serious when I say that mouse can actually do it really well. And he like overkills it, right? Yeah, he overkills. Here, if you guys need to see it again. Let's just watch it one more time if you guys don't believe what you guys just saw. And this is, of course, it's with target, but then you look at the gear and then you're like, This gear's not even that insane, right? It's not even I-90'd. let me see the stats on it. Okay, it is I-90'd. I'm kidding. I'm pranking. I mean, it's doable, right? You don't even need this much speed, to be honest. It's just nice to have so he doesn't get one shot. So there you go. It's doable. He has over critted too. He can drop the crit rate by 5%. I don't know if the Rimmel has the damage artifact, the moonlight stuff, but you can drop the crit rate by a lot because you can just use the artifacts that enhance that for you, or the attack artifacts that give you extra attack. There's a lot of things you can do. So, and I've seen 3-man Banshee mouse too, so I know it's possible. But yeah, it happens. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't need Viking for it. Viking is good. Viking is really good, but it's a one shot you can do. So if you're just pulling Viking for the Banshee one shot, I mean, yeah, you can do that, but mouse can do it as well. So, but I still think you should try to pull for all of them. Elias, Dizzy is the best for PvE. Her PvP has suffered a lot recently, especially because of Last Rider Craw. So if you have all of them crooked, if you have all the collab units, just buy Miss Confile from the shop, from the powder shop. That's what I'm doing, right? I have all of them. I'm just gonna get the Confile shop, right? That's the one thing that I'm going for. All right, RTA bans crooked. That's what we're gonna get to next, and then we'll talk about the drama. Ooh, that's the one that everyone's here for, right? So, dude, I miss Dizzy meta a little bit. Not that much. Dizzy meta was pretty toxic. It was a lot of control, but it's not the same. But yeah, there's other options. Again, priority Elphelt, then Miss Confile, then Dizzy. That's like the order I would tell you guys. Honestly, it should be Elphelt, Dizzy, Miss Confile. Miss Confile is just really good for Cerise and for like future Rangers, right? Oh, James, so we'll get to the drama. We'll get to, oh man, I'm just happy. You know, we're starting slow. We're getting warmed up. You know, we're getting our water. We're getting everyone acclimated to everything. But yeah, before we move to the RTA events, which is actually in the mock room, which I will show you guys. How many Miss Confiles? You honestly only need one, but the more the better, right? You shouldn't pull on the banner just for Miss Confile. You only need one copy. The only unit that uses it right now, it's like Cerise and PvE Seaside, right? The more you have, the more consistent your runs can get with Seaside and with Cerise. But I would recommend to have it because it's a really good PvE artifact, right? It has insane PvE potential. But let me make a mock room so I can show you guys the RTA change that they're trying out, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna set this password because I don't want a million people joining. We're not doing fights. We're just showing you guys the features. So this is a new feature that they're trying out, and I wanted to talk about it because there's a good chance that it'll make it implemented, and I don't know how I feel about it. Right? It hasn't changed yet. It's only in mock rooms. But there is a good chance they'll implement this next season. Which, out of all the things we talked about last week on the video, of the top 5 changes I wanted to do, this is the change that I don't know if it'd be a good thing or a bad thing. And we'll talk about it. Before we do that, though, we are running currently a tournament. So, again, Epic 7 PvP, thank you so much for helping me put the event out. The prize pool is up to 200. The stream for the tournament will be on Friday and on Saturday at this times. It's going on right now. The tournament, and it's super hype. I am super excited. This is for like the high bracket. I know there's some other brackets that are also probably still trying to figure out how to add, but it's really cool. It's gonna be really fun, and the matches have been super dope. So make sure you tune in for the tournament. $200 prize pool, and if you're someone that's like, oh, I'm gonna see is Last Rider Craw, General Purgis, and like Golden Boys, no, we've seen so much diversity on the pre-matches. But okay, enough about that. That's just a little bit of a plug for the tournament to come out and support the people that are playing in it. And maybe you can be there next time, right? If you sign up for it. But okay, let's talk about the RTA changes. So, because we're not going to implement these, but we're going to implement other ones. The first one, which has actually caused some drama in the tournament, sadly, which sucks. And it's something that hindsight, it's on me because I didn't make a rule. Because I didn't know that this update happened when I set up the fights for the tournament, and I'm really sorry you were affected by this. I hope you don't hate your opponent. It's completely on me. If you're mad that you lost the fight because you didn't get first pick, that's completely on me for not setting up the rules. But the tournament is going to be at Let me just show it again real quick. It's gonna be at this time. They're doing off-stream matches right now. It's gonna be top 8 on Friday for the high pool. We also have Little League, so people that are not in Champion, that are Challenger or lower, are participating for, I think, $25. Mid Champion, who's a complete... It's really hard to balance. They're competing for around like $70, and then the high champion is competing for over $100, right? So this is the high champion one. That's going to be on Friday. And Little League will be split between both days, and then the middle will be on Saturday. And the times are right here. They're CST based, right? So CST, so let me just type it in. We're about to talk about the RTA changes, but and the drama and all that stuff. Honestly, it's on me. So I feel really bad that I butchered this with this tournament. But it's going to be Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m. CST. And you can go to the Discord, click the link, and you can see the signups and all the stuff that is happening. Make sure you sub too, so you're notified when I actually start the stream, right? And start the tournament, so you can actually see it. But okay, let's actually talk about it. So first change that they made for mock rooms. The reason why I talked about the tournament is because this actually has a thing to play for future events. The host of the room can actually pick who gets first pick. This used to not be the case. It used to be a scenario where it was always random, right? If you went to a room, it was always random who gets first pick, who gets second pick. We can sit here and argue about the impact of first pick and second pick, and that's something that I will be making a video on because it does change the dynamics, right? You can't deny that first pick and second pick changes the dynamic. Whether you prefer first pick or whether you prefer first or second pick, that's completely different. On my side on the tournament, on the prelim matches, I butchered it. I forgot to say if I needed a system. I said to leave it random, which you can still leave random, but there's no way for me to police that, right? So hopefully, if you didn't get it, I'm sorry. Don't get mad at your opponent. If you lost because you didn't get first pick and second pick, get mad at me. You know, it was on me, right? So that's the one. The other one that's actually way more impactful, and this one can potentially affect all of y'all. This can affect everyone, and it could potentially roll out. It's only in mock rooms now, but you can have it so you can ban more than one character, and it looks so weird, dude. Let me just show you guys an example, right? That was put in the live stream, right? So this was an example from the live stream, and you can see they have 3 hero bans, so each player can pre-ban 3 units. That's ridiculous. That is so many units that are banned. Think about that, right? That's insane. That's insane, right? So right now, of course this isn't live, but the fact that they are testing it in the waiting rooms means that there is a chance that they will implement this, right? It may not be 3, it may be just 2, because you can also put it down to 2. So I am sure they're implementing this right now as a test to see whether they want to do this for the next RTA season. So if you are an RTA player, and hey, what's up, Skylar, right? This is something that you need to, whether you agree with it or you don't, it's something you need to be aware of, because odds are we will be seeing this. At least the 2-ban. I really do think they're gonna be implementing the 2-ban. If I was a gambling man and I was to say what Smilegate would do, I really do think they are going to implement the 2-ban. Right? I really think they'll implement the 2-ban. 3-ban is excessive. If they do 3-ban, RTA is going to be stupid. Right? 3 bans is stupid. They should not do this. That's way too many units. I don't even think early game players have enough units to play RTA at any time. Even like mid game units that normally would be able to do really good, that's not enough. 2 is very impactful still. Right? You don't need 3. 3 is already too much. 2 in itself, 2. So let's talk about 2. Right? I don't want to talk about 3. We'll touch on 3 slightly, but the one I really want to talk about is 2, because this one is actually the most likely to go live to be in the next RTA season. I do not think they will implement 3, but we'll still talk about the repercussions, right? So let's say they do 2 bans, right? Let's say they do 2 bans. Let's say this is change. People are very positive about it, and they say, yeah, we want this change. We want the meta to get shook up, right? We're tired of seeing the same units. We want diversity. Also, League or Mobile Legends again? Wait, why? Joel? Oh, because of the several lines. Yeah, it's pretty interesting between Athletic and RB. So let me just tell you guys why is very interesting. I don't think 3 is good, and I'll talk about it. Let me talk about it, right? So 2 bans. why this is impactful, it has two ways of being impactful. For high competitive play, right? For champion, the highest level, even legend, this allows the player to target ban an opponent very well, right? So let's say I'm playing against someone that I know is going to cleave me, right? Let's say I have that information. I can now ban 2 cleave pieces. I can ban Cdom and I can ban like Oxalot or Cerise, right? I have that information. 2 bans, I can completely shut out my opponent, right? If I know they play tank, I can ban Fallen Cecilia and I can ban Last Rider Craw, right? You can very aggressively target your opponent with these bans. 2 bans is a lot. You can let's say you know someone has a pocket pick, right? So like for example, Healer, who's also gonna be in the tournament, has a pocket pick Seaside. But I don't want to have to ban Seaside against him. I would like to ban Fallen Cecilia. So I usually have to ban Fallen Cecilia and die to his Seaside. Well, now I can ban his pocket pick as well as his team core. So this is huge at high level, right? And it's super impactful. It's gonna completely, if this is implemented, RTA is gonna be a completely different game mode. Like the amount of layers that it's gonna be added to strategy, to thinking, is insane. Now let's talk about the low side of things. Let's talk about to the newbie players. This basically means new game players, you will never see RB in a match. You will never see RB ever. If you're anything below champion, you will never see Arbiter Vildred. This is essentially a permaban for Arbiter Vildred and Seaside in low brackets. Right? You're not going to see Arbiter Vildred anymore. You can just ban it out. Arbiter Vildred in low brackets will never see play. Right? In low brackets. That's actually like huge. Completely shut out Arbiter. Like Arbiter Vildred for low bracket purposes is gone. He's completely gone. Right? So if you're a player that struggles against RB and Seaside, you can just ban him out. If this goes live, of course. That's very impactful. Right? That's huge. If you hate this unit, you can now ban it, right? You can ban out a playstyle. So now let's talk about the overall, right? If you look at the overall, what is the effect that it has on RTA as a whole? The negative impact, this is still more for the lower side. The barrier to entry to RTA will move up. Yes, you can still ban the same hero, but you can ban different heroes. But the barrier of entry to RTA will move up significantly. Whereas before you only really needed 7 to 8 units, you now will need 10 to 11 units to actually be able to play in RTA. Because assuming that, let's say you hate Cleave, but your opponent hates Bruiser, that means that Faithless Litica RB ban, and then on the other side it's Fallen Cecilia and Last Rider Crawl. Right? That's really big. Right? So it's ridiculous what you can do. Right? So 4 bans drives up the unit requirement. And with right now how hard it is to mola units, like even me as a late game player, it still takes me 2 to 3 weeks to gear Molagora, Catalyst, and set up a unit. It takes me 3 weeks plus. And the fact that this barrier got moved up, if this gets implemented, again, this is all speculation because it may not get implemented, right? It's very significant. If you do these 2 bans, the barrier of entry goes up. The other thing, as Mythcrafter is mentioning in the chat, that you could ban 3 strippers. You can actually target ban, which we talked about, how you can target ban. But think, for example, if you wanted to use Seaside at higher level, Seaside will probably not be banned, right? The higher you go up in champion because people think they can deal with her. Well, if 2 bans get implemented, and you're the player that wants to use Seaside, and you know you have first pick, you can ban Rowana, and you can ban Last Rider Crawl. Think about that. If for some reason Arbiter Builder doesn't get counter and you're a gambling man, you can now ban things like Emo Haste and Tamara Luluka, right? The 2 biggest quote unquote RB counters, even though he doesn't have any counters, you can ban them, right? That's crazy. If you're a tank abuser, right? You love to abuse your Landy, you would be able to ban Briar Witch, Iceria, and Basar. Which means that most people are not going to have their strippers. They're not going to be able to reach your Briar Witch. You can set up a ton of buffs and chill. Right? Enormous. Or if you're a player that loves Deanny, well, you don't have to worry about it. Ban Basar, ban Landy, and then just post-ban Briar Witch. they have to deal with your Deanny, right? Deanny would be insane again, because you can completely screw up the certain unit's counters, right? I could ban Last Rider Crawl, and I could ban Vivian. I can abuse a Tywin, right? So it's pretty big, pretty big, pretty big, right? So let me read some of the stuff y'all are saying, and we'll talk about it. Again, this is all speculation. This update may not get added, which I don't think they will, right? I don't think it will, but if they do, it will only be 3-ban. 2-ban, not 3-ban. I don't think they'll go all the way to 3-ban. This is excessive. And if they do implement it, it'll be the 2-man, which is why I discussed it. But it does add a lot of layers. It could be really scary. It could be really interesting. You could potentially get in a situation where you both hate Bruisers, and then you have like Fallen Cecilia, Last Rider Crawl, a Tywin, and like, I don't know, F Clory all banned, right? You could have those situations, which is super weird. Really weird, right? They could just make 2-man champ and above and makes names anonymous. I could see the anonymous thing, but I like knowing who I'm up against before I ban. But I guess you could do a forced first pick ban, and you already have that, so that way you don't have, like, that would potentially fix the upper level problem of being able to target ban a specific player if it actually went live. Oh yeah, I mean, but the thing about it, it's like, this is in the normal game mode, Crooked Rocket, which is why I think they're really looking into it, right? Because people have been complaining about RTA, including myself. I've been complaining about RTA. All I think RTA needs is like a shop and maybe like a global ban or something like that, but this could be a solution, right? It's one of the things we discussed. It might be the way that they're trying to go around it. I don't know. So there's a good chance that this one will go live, right? Pretty important. Just DC, this would actually make first pick, second pick super big, right? But maybe premium before matchmaking. I don't know how they're gonna do it. There's a really good chance they'll implement it though. So it's a potential change. I just want to let you guys know that it's out there. It's something that could affect you in the future. It's something that could go live, right? There's a very good chance that this will go live. Because why would they waste their time adding this to mock battles when it's never going to get implemented? You could argue, as Rocket mentioned, that maybe, you know, it's like the no dupe class, but they added it to the main game mode. It'll be interesting. I know for the next tournament that I host, I will be trying this out, and I'll be really cool. not this one, right? Not this tournament that we're doing, but in future tournaments, I do want to test this out, kind of see the diversity that we would see, and like the target banning potentials that this has. So pretty scary. Pretty scary stuff, right? Very scary. And hey, what's up, Ink? But I hope Smilegate will potentially do the right thing. I hope that this means that they're looking into RTA a lot, and I hope this means that we get an RTA shop. Please, Smilegate, let this tell us that you're making an RTA shop because you're trying to get more competitive PvP. Please tell me that. I hope this is at least a sign that they're looking into RTA and they're going to fix it for next season, right? That's the only thing I can ask for, you know, spice it up. Guild War update went, yeah, that one's probably like in their lowest priority list, but I think RTA has recently been getting a lot of attention. Why? Because of the tournament. So before we end here, let me just end this discussion for this one, and then we'll move on to the next discussion point, which is going to be the spicy drama. Woo! I love some tea. But okay, so before I end that, we get to that. Right now, RTA is under the spotlight. There's a lot of people talking about the things that need to change in RTA, how it's getting stale, how there's no rewards. There's also the fact that the Epic 7 Invitational is next month in April, which is the biggest event that they've ever hosted, and it's 20 it's a ridiculous amount. It's like a huge amount of money, right? That they're putting to the players to compete that at the highest level. It's almost like an esport, right, of sorts. So I think the fact that they're trying to make it an esports means that they're looking into it, which means it's good because that means that it's going to get more support, right? So hopefully with all the focus that's on RTA, and now with the recent bans, RTA is under huge spotlight, right? Under huge criticism. There's changes that need to be done. I hope Smilegate takes this opportunity to actually implement good changes that will make RTA a good game mode. Well, it's already good, but make it better, right? Make it more enticing to lower players. Make it something that people don't feel like they're facing the same units over and over again. I personally think the 2-ban is okay. I know that may be a hot take. The more I think about it, the more I think it'd be very diverse and very unique. I do think there are some things that need to be fixed. It shouldn't just be a straight up 2-ban. I think banning something before you get into a match with someone would be pretty good. And then, I don't know, like there's still some balancing issues around this, but it's a step in the right direction. Ink Master, T. Surin, Rylet, Violet, and who else uses lifesteal? Seaside can use lifesteal. There's a couple that can use lifesteal. But yeah. Oh, it's 50,000? Yeah, 50,000 tournament, right? So there's a lot of focus. But, alright. So, I heard, you guys heard me mention about the banned players, right? Which is that from RTA. Oh yeah, Champ C as well. So, recently, if you guys didn't know, for RTA, I don't think they're up there. I think they still will be up there. Let me show you guys the rankings. I think they're still out, right? Like the... Are they... Oh no, they already implement. Oh no, this is the new one. Let me see the Hall of Fame. So if you look at the Hall of Fame, you see Suck and you see Eitherbolch, the two best players in the world in RTA. Both these players got banned recently and are gonna lose their number 1 and number 2 status, and are gonna lose the FCC skin. So if you don't know this, it's actually very impactful. It raises a lot of questions, and it's a lot of drama that there are two sides of. I'm gonna start as unbiased as possible and kind of break down the drama that you may be hearing, that maybe some of your friends told you about. But these two players and other top tier players recently got the ban hammer, right? They 30-day ban, stripped of all their achievements. All their achievements are gone, right? And the list of banned players, let me show it to you guys. This is straight from Smilegate. They kind of hid some of the names, but you can see Suck, ban. This is from RTA. Jbon, all these other ones, Joy, which we'll talk about as well. And in Arena, we have all these other ones, right? So very big names are getting banned, right? So why is this impactful and what happened with it? So let's actually read. I'm going to be first as unbiased as possible. I just want to give you guys the facts first, so you know what's happening and you get an idea. So first, let's set this stage, right? So as we mentioned, esport coming up soon, right? The esport event is coming up very soon, so there's a lot of focus in RTA and in competitive and like clean competitive gaming, right? So there's a lot of focus on that right now. On the other part, there's also the fact that there is win trading going on. Whether you know this or not, in Arena and in RTA, there's win trading that occurs. That is a fact. That I don't know who is. That there's allegations of who does what, but it exists. That's a fact. People win trade. What does it mean by win trading? They purposely give up to their opponent because they know them and want them to do better, right? In some cases, there's potentially money even transferred, although that's not very common, but it does exist, right? That's another fact, right? The other fact is that Smilegate banned players that had allegations against them. That's something that also happened. These players are banned. That's just a fact. And it's for a 30-day ban that strips them of everything and takes away the opportunity to participate in the tournament, right? In this big $50,000 tournament that everyone wants to go to, these players will not be able to compete in it. They are banned from it, right? That's just facts. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that's what happened, right? So now let's go into the speculation area, right? So the speculation, thank you for joining Rampai. But let's get to the speculation aspect of things, right? So let's look at the official Smilegate. This is for the Arena. So for the Arena one, it's essentially you could quit your fight and your opponent wouldn't get points. So this one is kind of more of a bug fix, but there are some players that got banned from it. I don't think there was any like huge big name players that got banned from it from Arena that I see, right? Like most of these are probably just guys that were just abusing the trick. A lot of Asia players. So this one is not as impactful. It doesn't participate in the scene, which I think is weird because Arena is probably the place where there's the most dirty play going on. I think it's Arena over RTA. But let's look at the statement for RTA. This is what Smilegate said about it. Essentially, they said that they recorded a defeat and victory points decrease. I messed it up. Hold up. That was the World Arena one. So this was the World Arena one. The Arena one was the one I showed before. So I messed up. So this was the RTA one. So this one is that they said that they would lose battles on purpose to people they knew, and they're banning the person that is boosted, right? And they're saying certain players have adjusted victory points. They did not battle, but opponent resigned. So essentially win trading, right? Where you're giving wins to your opponents. That's what I've been discussing is win trading. And there have been allegations against that. There are 17 players banned, including Suck and Eitherbolts, which are both top tier level players that It's interesting that they were actually banned. They will be removed from the Hall of Fame. They will be taken out. They will lose their skin, and they will not be able to participate in the big event that is coming out, right? So that's pretty huge. That's enormous that they're doing that, right? It's a very impactful thing, right, to these two players. So now let's actually look at the players that got banned before we actually start getting to the discussion and my thoughts on it. So Arena 1, nothing crazy. It was just people that could leave and then not get points. Even though Arena has its own problems with people win trading. Like huge problems, but they have certain things to try to mitigate that. But things like Aether Bulge, people like Suck, right? These are top tier caliber players, right? Suck ended RTA, as Crooked Rocket mentioned, with a 70% win rate, 1,300 wins, 500 losses. So very, 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 very huge, right? Very impactful. The #1 player in the world essentially is getting called out for cheating, right? That's the allegation. The #1 and the #2 player are getting called out for cheating, and they will be removed. So Lamix will be the #1 player in RTA. These two will get taken off, right? So now for my thoughts, right? That's all the facts. So the allegations are that these players in RTA, including the top 2, cheated. They got a 30-day ban for cheating, for win trading, right? And that's the allegations, right? And there's other people in here as well. Someone who we'll talk about, who is Joy. So now let's talk about my thoughts on it, right? So up to this point, I've been as unbiased as possible on what I think about it and what I think of everything, right? My thoughts on it is, I think it's something that Smilegate needed to do. I think it's something that definitely drives up the conversation of win trading and all that stuff, but I disagree with the way that they carried it out. I know this is something that Smilegate wanted to do and needed to do, but I feel like it was kind of dirty, and the reason why I say that is because of some of the players that got banned. So this is my theory, but what I think Smilegate did is that they made a bot that checked players' lose streaks, right? And there are casualties from it. So yes, Suck and Aether, there's apparently allegations, there's a lot of other stuff, right? But people like Joey is a dude that he loves Fire Charlotte. He's a one-trick pony, right? This guy Joey won something. He's a Charlotte one-trick. He would quit an RTA match if you banned his Fire Charlotte, because he didn't want to play the game if he didn't get Fire Charlotte, right? He wasn't trying to go for Legend. He was legit just trying to have fun in RTA, and he would just quit if his Charlotte was banned. He got punished because he would quit matches before the match started, right? So Joey got punished because of other people abusing the system, which that's why I disagree with Smilegate, because I'm pretty sure all that Smilegate did was make a bot that if you surrendered at the start of the match after post ban and pick phase, if they just quit right after that and you quit, you're gonna get banned, right? That's not something you need to do. RTA is supposed to be fun, right? There was another guy that was just trying to finish his Ricarus quest. The dude was in silver. He was just surrendering because he wanted to get the 250 matches it takes to do Ricarus SC. He got banned. He got banned for chilling. He's just chilling. He was just trying to have fun with RTA. Both these people are huge casualties. I hope Smilegate reverts these. I hope they make it public that they reverted it, because it's not fair to those, right? And this is why I'm concerned on the Smilegate side. So there's the Smilegate side, and then let me show you both sides of the thing, right? So the concern for this. So now let's talk about the concerns, right? From the Smilegate side, the Smilegate did bad. The concern on the side that Smilegate did bad in this issue is that there was zero transparency in the banning and everything. They didn't announce this. I mean, of course, most competitive games have rules against win trading, right? It's scummy, but there was never really any rule. And RTA win trading, I guarantee y'all, has been going on since season 1 of RTA. That's a fact. You can't tell me. There's always cheating in games, right? There's always cheating. To think that there's not is ridiculous, right? And the fact that they decided to crack on it now because there's an esports event without giving warning, yes, you're probably thinking they still committed the crime. They're still cheaters, right? Whatever, like they still cheated. right? Quote unquote. Allegations. Again, allegations. I cannot say for sure if they cheated or not. I'm not going to say Aether and Suck cheated or not. That's allegations brought against them. That is completely up to them to decide, right? But it's still like very non-transparent process. They just decided to ban them with no like post-season. They had all season to look into this, but they waited till after the season was over to do it. That's just a very bad PR move, right? That's a very bad PR move. And the thing about it is it's based on allegations. We don't have the whole story. People in the back probably know if it's true or not. The reason why I say this is because Suck, as a player from like that plays against a lot of the top people and has connections with a lot of the top players, Suck is very well respected in the community. He's not a person that anyone would have pointed fingers for cheating, right? PR is public relations, right? It's something that like it's a bad move on Smilegate's business side of things to have done the banning post-season before their big thing, right? But Suck is a very well respected player. If you've ever fought Suck, he didn't need win trading to get number 1, right? Or he may have needed it for number 1, but he is easily a legend level player. The account has the gear, the account has the units, the person has the motivation. Suck could have easily made legend, right? Maybe not number 1, I don't know. Again, that's the problem with all of this. It's allegations. There is zero like facts in this, right? The other part is that there is the issue with the collateral damage, because when you see things like Joey, right? We just talked about Joey and this other guy that did nothing wrong, right? They're just trying to have fun with Epic 7, but they got flagged by a bot that's just checking to see how many times you quit before going against an opponent. This raises concerns, particularly for streamers, because does this mean, and again, this is Smilegate's issue because of transparency. This would not be an issue if Smilegate says we have allegations that this happened, and if there wasn't this collateral damage either, right? Because if there's no collateral damage and they just said a better post and like we're more transparent with the process, this wouldn't be an issue. But the fact that collateral damage just feels like they went off a rumor or an allegation and went against this. But the problem this raises is for people like streamers and for people that are very active in the community. So let's say hypothetically, and again, this is an issue because of Smilegate's transparency. So this is the bad of all of this, is Smilegate not being transparent. Let's say for me, let's say I'm streaming and you guys like my channel, you guys are my homies, you guys are subbed and everything, maybe even members, and you see me in RTA bracket and you know I'm OP, right? You know you're gonna get beat, you're gonna get whooped if you try to go against me, and let's say you start yielding against me. If that happens and that's all the bot checks for, does that mean I can get banned? Right? Or let's say I'm like Fire Charlotte guy. Let's say you're trying to do Ricarus quest. Is that grounds for banning, right? Or let's say YDCB, right? Let's say people want to get YDCB banned, and they every time they see YDCB, they auto like surrender to them, right? Let's say they auto surrender against them every time, and that will flag the Epic 7 systems, and then YDCB gets banned, right? That's bad. That's not where you want to be. Again, this may not be how it works, but the fact that there's so much collateral damage from this, because there's a lot of names in here that are not top level players, right? Like there's people in here that are like in silver. There's probably people here in bronze. There's probably people here in like masters, challenger, right? That maybe just quit a lot because they just didn't want to play the game, and they just got flagged by the system, right? And that's concerning. That this feels like a system versus an individual based review. And it feels because of keeping the integrity of the competitive system. The only people I would expect is people that are actually cheating and that you have proof that are cheating. I don't know if they have that. I don't know if they have that. I don't know if they have Suck. I don't know if they have Aether Bulge, if they have proof. Because now there's another part of speculation. Because again, I'm not in the circle, but I like can see the circle of the top level players. I see what they say. One of the things that is very concerning is that you guys know that Global and Asia has a very, very big rivalry. This is the first time that Asia doesn't take the #1 spot in RTA. And apparently, Asia Root YouTuber told his followers to mass report certain players. In this case, it was Aetherbolge. They told to mass report him for cheating because he said that he heard something. So it was a mass report, and that potentially could be a certain thing that caused him to get banned, right? So that's more on the speculation side, but it's still like, it raises a lot of concerns, right? If they are cheaters, by all means, they should get banned, right? But there was no policy before this. There's no transparency from Smilegate. Can streamers get banned? Can other people get banned? You know, it's a very big fumble on the side of Smilegate, right? It's just very sad, right? It's hard for me to say who's in the right and who is in the wrong in this situation. So the good is Smilegate. Yes, if there's cheaters, they need to crack down. 100% I'm with Smilegate on this one. With it having so much PR, like so much potential, with it about to be like a quote unquote esport, it is very, very important that they crack down on cheating, right? But at the same time, the way they did it and the fact that there's so much collateral damage, it's like, did they really look at this as a person by person basis? Was it just because someone told them to mass report? What happens if someone like Joey or someone, just people tend to int into you because they don't want to fight against you? It could be very possible that for Suck, people see he's the #1 player, don't want to fight him, which can happen, and quit. Or if it's like friends of Suck, maybe their intentions weren't to boost him, but they just didn't feel like losing to him again, and they're like homies and like, I'll give you the win, right? So is that what happened? There's no transparency. That's the problem. So I'm not gonna, I can't take a stance, like a solid stance, like saying, yes, you go Smilegate, you go ban these players, down with the whales, you know. No, there's like no information, right? And I feel like it's all allegations, right? There hasn't been any proof. If you have found proof of like screenshots, and the other thing that makes this particularly irritating is that I'm not gonna call them out because I don't have, again, I don't want to spread rumors, but I know of streamers that have admitted to boosting on stream. I know there's people that admit to boosting on stream that are high level players. They didn't get banned because the system didn't flag him, even though they're the ones that are boosting, right? So it's like, I don't like this system of like guilty until proven innocent. I don't like that there's no transparency. As someone that likes facts and information, I don't want to take a stance on something when I don't have the full facts, right? So kind of to wrap this up and then just kind of get in the conversation, because I do want to see what you guys are thinking and are chatting about. Yes, there's cheating going on. Suck and Aetherbolts are very respected. I don't know if they quit or not. They're definitely, I don't know much. They could have looked at it in particular, but this really does look like it was something that a bot did. This doesn't look like something that someone manually went in and checked for inting. This looks like something a bot did. Why? Because people like Joey got it, and people like the silver guy that was just trying to level up his Rickeries, they got banned. Clearly, that's not a work of a human. A human would have noticed there's a mistake, and it's someone just being like careless, right? It's not 100%. Again, I can't say yes or no, but it just strikes me that way. As someone who like does a lot of work with like optimization and systems, that just makes the most sense to me, right? There's also potential allegations that people are just trying to throw people under the bus. There's a lot of bad blood right now in the top level E7 community. For everyone else, we're chilling, right? For people like me, we're chilling, right? For the most part. It's a very small concern on my aspect, mainly because it's like, I don't think anyone would just intend to me just to kill, like to take me out, you know, like, oh, let's get this guy banned. The other thing that I will have to say, Smilegate did a pretty good job, is the punishment is not like a permaban, right? Which I think was the smart play, and I think they did it because they don't want to anger the whale players, right? It's only a 30-day ban. Yes, it sucks they don't get the FCC skin, but that's something that they'll be able to get in the future. And the frame, that just sucks, because that feels like it's a lot of wasted time. If they're actually innocent, this would suck, right? And hopefully they'll be able to prove it, right? But they're not going to be able to participate in the tournament. Invitations to the big tournament that Smilegate is hosting are already out. The $50,000 tournament, Suck won't get to participate in it. That $50,000 tournament, Aetherbolts won't be able to participate in it. It's just a matter of fact, you know. It's just a fact. They're not gonna be able to participate in it, even if they clear their name. So that's just very sad, because I don't like seeing situations that they don't get a chance to like say it. But at least the ban is not. It's only 30 days. It's not the end of the world. They're not gonna be like. From what I've heard from them, they are still gonna play Epic 7. They still like the game a lot. So once their ban is over, they will definitely come back. So I don't think either Bolts is officially quitting. Some people may quit, like Careless apparently may quit, but who did they ban? This is just some of the names. RTA. So they banned Suck, who's the #1 player. They banned Eitherbuch, who's the #2 player. They banned Careless, who is a very well-known player in the community, very highly ranked. Not legend though. They banned Joey, who is a dude that like just wants to have fun with the game. It's not arena though. They haven't cracked on an arena. It's a 30-day account ban, OVWA. It's a 30-day suspension. So it's not the worst punishment in the world. But yeah, Danfin as well. It's not the worst punishment in the world, but it just really stings for people like Suck and Aetherbulge, who are literally contenders to win the $50,000. They can't participate anymore. Huge blow for Global. Not the greatest day in Epic 7 history. But yeah, it could have been something that was permaban. So it's not bad. Time will tell, right? Yeah, it feels like they wasted their time. Again, I'm all for Smilegate cracking down on cheaters. My problem is there are very well-known cheaters in the community who aren't getting banned. But there are players in the there are players in the E7 community that are known for cheating that are not getting banned, and there are players that are highly regarded in the community that are being suspect of cheating. Now, this is legit one day. There may be screenshots that people grab that they sent to Smilegate that we don't know about. So Smilegate may have that, right? So I feel like I'm walking in circles. The way that they cheated is by win trading. They win trading, right? So it says it on the list, right? Essentially what it says is that they had people who surrendered right away to give them points, right? So if, for example, you know Suck and you surrender to him, that contributed to him getting banned. If you're a player that kept inting like that, banned. Oh, no. Like, manual cheating, it's like people that, like, abuse bugs and, like, for example, one of the bugs that no one really got hit for was there was a Guild Wars bug that you could not put a fortress and get a ton of points. No one got called out for that. In the past, there was a ton of arena cheating that never really got players banned. In arena, they used to do it a ton. I don't think, from the last I've seen, it hasn't happened that much. But in arena, they used to do boosting all the time, like for legend. That used to happen all the time, both Asia and global. Nothing ever happened to that. So it's legit the focus in RTA because of the event. That's it. That's the reason why. If you're wondering why did Smilegate suddenly decide to crack down on win trading, even though it's been a problem for ages, it's because of the event is right around the corner. And I don't like the way they handle it. The arena climb's not going great. I'm very sad about Polides because that means less people have Cleave defenses. They have more Polides FCC, and I don't like that. It's very frustrating. Yeah, I agree. Who am I? I think, again, let me just summarize this. Right? So you guys get a full picture. So top players got banned. Very highly regarded in the community. If you Suck Aetherbolge, they could have easily made legend, right? That was not a problem for them. They are OP players by all intents and purposes. I don't know why they need to win trade, but that's what the allegations are about. Potentially coming from Asia players, potentially coming from other players that may have actually sent Smilegate proof, you know. But it makes it feel like Smilegate just used the bot because there is collateral damage. There is collateral damage from this. People like Joey who just wanted to have fun with Fire Charlotte, and someone that was just trying to do the Ricarus quest in bronze. So there is a lot of unknowns, and on the bad side of Smilegate, they have not been transparent in this process at all. They kind of have kept the information secret. Like, they didn't say what they used. They didn't say why. Like, they just say, oh yeah, they were win trading. Okay, how do you know this? So, very weird. Very, very weird. Yeah, Angela, they could have done that. Smilegate didn't have a policy on this before, and then they decided to crack down on it. So, all in all, I'm TLDR of the situation. I'm all for Smilegate banning cheaters. I don't like that they're not being transparent about it, because I personally have not seen any proof that either Suck or either Bulge cheated. The fact that someone surrenders into you doesn't mean you're the cheater. They could have not asked for this, right? They could have, people they know could have just probably done it, right? So, it's tough. Skylar, that's what I like to hope. I don't expect, the crackdown, I strongly believe is for that. I don't expect Smilegate to release any more statements about this. They will let the community figure it out, and they'll probably handle it behind closed doors, right? So I'm sure they will handle this behind closed doors. The players that got banned, if they are proven to be innocent, like Suck, he can't participate in the $50,000 tournament. That's already passed. That window's gone, right? That's not coming back. Same with either Bulge. Even if they are truly innocent, they cannot prove that. Or they can prove it. They can get the ban rescinded. They can get back their statuses, but they can't participate in the E7 tournament. That's $50,000. That's all the cost of hype. So that's it for the drama. I want to see what you guys think about it. Do you guys think Smilegate was right? Do you think down with the cheaters? You think Smilegate knows something I don't know something the community doesn't know? Maybe they do have pictures. You guys think that? Or you guys think there's allegations against them? Smilegate used a bot, thought it was suspicious, and just went ahead and banned it without any more proof, right? What's good for innocent players? You can all bans can be challenged. I am sure Joey can challenge this and get it rescinded. I'm sure the other guy. But Smilegate could come out and say, no, that's not something we allow. If you quit in the ban and pick phase, ban. Get banned, bro. They could say that. They could legit say that. That if you do that, it's gone. Oh yeah, Skylar, yeah, it's probably, and I think in Europe it's probably worse. And in global, it's a little bit better. I don't know about Asia. How do you train in normal arena? You just kill them yourself into their defense. Like you just int into the defense. In RTA, same thing. It's just inting, right? There's no bug abuse. There's nothing like that. It's just speculation. So that's it for the drama. It's a sad overall. I don't like us Smilegate's not being transparent. I'm all for banning players that cheat. If it's true that Suck and Either Bull cheated, yeah, they should get the ban. So hopefully we'll know more. Hopefully more screenshots, more facts will come around, and we'll get a full story. But it's tough. Joey should not have been punished though. This is a tragedy because he didn't do anything wrong. He was just someone with the one in a Charlotte. Yeah, that's the same thing that I'm thinking, Hank. That's why I'm so confused. Why would Suck and Either Bolt need the win trades? It doesn't make sense to me. That's the speculation side of me, right? That's the part of me that like it's very hopeful. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened. I have no clue what. It's a very messy situation. I hope more information is brought out. But if you want to follow a not legend player that is decent in RTA, make sure you click the like, subscribe button. Helps out the channel grow, helps me keep updated. Reading a lot into this actually took a lot of my time today. I read way too much chats and like speculations and everything, and like with other people just talking about it and my thoughts on it. And I overall think Smilegate needs to be more transparent. If these people are caught cheating, they really should even get, like, yes, I think that's great that Smilegate did what they did, but I just hope it's not a situation that's a guilty before proven innocence, and it's not something that's just beef between Asia and Global, right? Or something like that, right? So it's tough. Everything that's it about for the drama. So yeah. I don't know what else is from that. As far as some other updates from Epic 7, there shouldn't be a lot more that I remember. That I have most of the tabs already like taken out. I don't think I missed. Oh yeah, Charles, right? So I know coming out of that and then going into Charles, you're probably like, what? How can we go from this juicy drama to Charles? So as far as Charles, my recommendation is don't pull. I know that sounds harsh, but I mean he's really cool. But the GG banner is right around the corner. Tamarine is right around the corner. There's no reason you should be pulling for this guy if you don't have Tamarine or don't have the GG collab units. He's good in Guild Wars, not the best in Guild Wars. He does function in Guild Wars. Can work in PvP if you really try, but not great. And does have a decent PvE presence, but that's it. Nothing crazy from that. So that's a big one on that. But yeah, if it's your favorite hero, yeah. But if you're someone that doesn't have Tama and you're someone that hasn't pulled any of the GG collab heroes, Charles is not that good. He has definitely fallen off. Tama banner over GG collab units. That's a really hard one. I know Smilegate put that Tama banner just because they knew GG collab was coming. Oh, Smilegate is too smart, dude. Smilegate is too smart. They know how to get into people's wallets. They know how to get another one. Pick Telriz as selective summon. But yeah, very interesting stuff. So again, really cool stuff coming. The RTA changes I'm really excited for. Small update as far as the Spectene. She is now in the shop. So the Spectene skin, you can now get it in the shop. Oh yeah, I completely forgot this massive update. Wait. I completely forgot about this. This one is actually I'm really hype about. For you guys are probably like, why are you hype about this, King? That's so weird. But it's because I actually really like storyline. So let me get you guys some stuff. Let me show you guys something that I'm actually really excited for. I don't know if you know this is out. I didn't know it was out until I stumbled upon him. Book of Memories. Really cool stuff. So you can actually go back and get some limited units as well as some imprints. This one will give you imprints for Yuna, right? So if you love Yuna, you love her skin, you can now get imprints for her. You can actually run the storyline. Yes, it costs crystals, but you get a ton of rewards, including this. You get the Yuna imprints. You get the quest rewards. You get a lot of stuff from it. This artifact's actually really good for PvE, especially because it clears up a lot of your space. This one, again, you get Cerealia if you really wanted Cerealia. It's there. You get the rewards. And the really cool one that I thought was really awesome, we actually finally have a Epic 7 timeline. This is actually going to be a video, in case y'all didn't know, because I love Epic 7 storyline. We finally got a timeline. Kisei storyline was before the 6th world. The Nocturnes do know what happened in the previous worlds, right? We see chronological order. This is so nice, dude. This is just great. I know this is such a small update, and you guys are probably like, King, you're such a nerd. But I don't know. I like it. I'm a fan. I like the Epic 7 storyline. It's dope. It's heat. We can get an anime soon. We have the official canon order. It's really nice. Official canon order. I saw this and I was like, dude, I was right. I was actually right. The 6th world and the Nocturnes, I was right on the video that I talked about them. This one I was surprised that it happened this far back, like even before all this other stuff. Like including this one, but it makes sense, right? And it's weird to me that at the same time that the Archdemon was trying to destroy Orbis, you also have Strasse trying to destroy Orbis. Like, what the heck is that? Why are people trying to just slam the... Why are people trying to slam Orbis at the same time? What the heck did Orbis do? Why is Strasse there? Why is Archdemon there? Why is all these people there? Why is Noctis there? What the heck happened in Orbis, dude? It's just a normal planet. There's so many other ones. So, I don't know. I'm happy with it. Previous era... Oh, dude, that would be so good. This is canon order, though. GG collab? Yeah, I don't see it either, but it is after the Archdemon War. So, I'm surprised they didn't add it, but it should be right after the Archdemon War, which is right here. So, it should be after Unrecorded History. Somewhere in here would be the GG collab in terms of storyline. But it should be around this time. They went on New World Order. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know why Orbis always just gets slammed by people. Maybe one day I'll do a a story time stream and we can just talk about story. I don't know how many of you guys would be interested in that, because I'm a very RTA focused channel. I'm a very PvP gameplay focused channel. So I don't know how much you guys would be interested in that, but if you are, let me know. So what are cool? It's Epic 7 Universe. What would they be? It's cool. It's cool. But yeah, last announcement that I'll do is, again, we're doing the tournament. Oh yeah, let me just show you guys the brackets. So last thing for the stream, and then we'll close it. Not as many updates as I thought, but a lot of juicy stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all the juice and the spice and all the drama. So let me actually show you guys the brackets. So let me actually pull it up on the side. You guys can look at Ida. So the King's Cup, right? Prize tournament. Thank you so much to the donors, Hufer and Chica. You guys really made this possible. I was just pitching, and all the members too. So shout out to all the members. The members of this channel, if you see their green name, give them a huge shout out. This is the only reason I was able to actually host a tournament, is because of them. They essentially helped me get the funds. I put in $100 of the YouTube revenue that they helped me get to, and that's why I'm able to do the tournaments. And then Hufer and Chica both were able to donate $50 each, and that's why we actually have the prize pool for this tournament at a whopping $200 plus, because anything that the stream makes will be added to the prize pool. So in that stream, if you feel like you want to donate more, and you donate as a super chat, if you sign up as a member during that stream, or any of that good stuff, I will add that to the prize pool and increase it for the players that are competing. So as far as the players that are competing, a lot of them are people that you may know. It's a very chill tournament, as in, like, there is not like a ton of top level players, right? And I made it into different brackets. So if you're someone that's like, I hate seeing tournaments because it's all the same thing, it's all Fun Cecilia, Last Rider Crawl, and all these broken units, that's not gonna be this tournament. From what I've seen from the matches that have been in the background, woo, it's spicy. It's super spicy so far. Let me pull up the brackets, because they're actually super spicy, and I'll talk about some of the players as we get closer. So make sure you tune into the stream. Very, very important. The dates are here. This is based on CST time. So I don't know what that would be global. I think it's like 12 p.m. global. So it's Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m. CST for tourney. So make sure to tune in and support the people trying, right? It's very, very cool. I'll also be trying it on Twitch. So that's something that's new. I'm going to be trying to stream this tournament on Twitch, so maybe Smage will notice us, and then you maybe see your boy on an official E7 stream. That's the dream, of course, but I feel like I'm still too small for Smage to notice me. But okay, let me pull them up, the brackets. And they are very, very exciting. All the matches I've sat in on have been really, really cool. Like, I have not seen a match that I was not like, wow, that was really tight, that was really close. Super excited. So let's open here, let's open that, and what's the last one? Why can't I find the last one? Huh. I found like the high champion, and I found the, sorry for the technical difficulties, I'll show it in a second. I don't know why I can't find the last bracket, the Little League bracket. I never find that though, so that's probably why. Alright, there we go. Found it. Okay, so here are the brackets. Let me pull them all over here so you guys can see them. So there's 3 brackets, each are competing for their own prize. So let me get you guys hype, right? This is an update for the channel, right? I'll talk about Chogun Shogun if you guys want me to. Yeah, Ink, dude, I had so many. I even posted on the community tab. I try to remind you guys as much as possible to try to be able to do it. Epic 7 storyline is always really good. Yeah, QJ, I need to do story time. I was planning to do it this week, but with the tournament, I've been super slammed, dude. I will do more lore videos starting next week, right? Also for the members, this is what your membership is going to, is things like the tournament and helping out with that stuff. So it helps a lot. I know the rewards for the members are not great. I'm trying to make it better. Before the tournament, I will try to get new emotes for you guys so you guys can get hype. So, alright, let me see some of the other stuff. Yeah, Eureka's been pretty good, actually. But okay. I've never been in a community stream, Colin. Smoggy never notices me. I actually reached out to New and to what's his face? This is probably Mashu. I talked to Mashu and New. Neither of them replied to me. I felt very ghosted. I felt very sad. I messaged them. Neither responded. Neither said anything. I was like, oh, that's a feels bad. Shogun, he's been busy with life. He's moving up in life. So really shout out to Shogun. He's been doing a lot of moves. So UTC time I think is 12. But okay, I am going to be doing Twitch. So I will be going onto Twitch for this tournament. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming on Twitch exclusively. I don't think so. I like both YouTube and I like YouTube more honestly than Twitch. So I'll probably be primarily YouTube. I'll just dual stream on Twitch. Twitch is really strict with all their stuff. But it will allow me to do other games in the future. So if you want to see me play other games, I do play a lot of other ones. If you're in the Discord, you probably know I love Smash Bros. I might try a YouTube stream, see how bad it does of like playing Smash. And then if not, I'll just play it on Twitch. If I ever feel like playing Smash on stream and talking with you guys. So I play other games. There's a lot of other games I like. But okay, enough about that. Let's talk about the tournament brackets and all that good stuff. So for the tournament, I have it set up to be different tiers, right? Because people have different skill levels. And I wanted to make an event that everyone in the community could actually participate in, no matter what RTA rank you are, right? I wanted something that even challenger players that are like 3-4 month old players could actually get into and participate in tournaments. So that's why I split it up into different brackets according to skill level. This is the Little League. All these players are not champion level. They're challenger or below. And the fights here have been really, really cool. And I am super excited to see how the rest will turn out. We are still waiting on this too. But this is the current one. These 8 will be on stream, split between the 2 days. So it'll be pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be really, really cool to see what they do and how they're able to do it. I'm really excited for this one. The price is not as big. I think it's like $20 at this point, $20-$25 for the Little League. But that's still a pack, you know. It helps them get a pack. It helps them get RTA, helps them get excited about the game. I want the newer players to get excited about the game. Right? So this is what I hope to do. Again, I hope that people don't abuse this, but so far, I haven't seen a stomp on Little League, which makes me feel like it's balanced, right? Everyone that's participating in Little League has been very grateful for the opportunity and has been very positive and said, I love the experience. It was a good time. 10 out of 10 will do again. So very happy with how Little League is turning out. I'm very excited to see it on stream and actually see the matches and you guys get to see it. And they can compete for that $25 price. The other one is the mid bracket. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. This is the reason there's no rules on hero picks, but people are usually pretty unique on their picks. I have not seen a lot of like full tank squads. I've seen a lot of creativity and a lot of Cleave and a lot of like, I've seen Ida pop off. I've seen Charon's pop off. I've seen Helga in the Little League. Bro, Helga in the Little League. Helga and what's her face? What's the unit's name? Shooting Star Arcades. Someone in the Little League was actually able to pull off Helga and Shooting Star Arcades in tournament, right? So that's awesome. That's what I love to see. You know, that's the stuff I live for, bro. That's what makes Epic 7 fun. This one has been a nightmare to balance. It's probably the hardest one to balance because partially because of the ranking system in Epic 7. It's very hard to actually balance champion players. It is almost impossible to balance champion players because it's such a big bracket. So this is supposed to be low champion players to mid champion players. There are probably players here that are stronger than that. More likely than not. I know one of these they already did their match, but more likely than not, there are players here that should probably have gotten in the higher bracket. But I tried to do my best on that. Overall, it seemed decently balanced. There has been a lot of issues on this one. I don't know why, but this one has become kind of a toxic place. Apparently, like people get really upset when they lose in this bracket. I don't know why, but people who are losing here have had the worst experience, which makes me sad. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's so big and it's so stressful. And I don't know. Maybe it's because people feel like they could have done better. But there is like, I don't know why people are so upset in this bracket. People in this bracket, there's been a lot of issues in this bracket. People not enjoying the tournament, people getting upset about losing, people complaining about RNG, people playing about like the system. So I don't know. Partially my fault because again, it's so hard to balance this. Maybe I should have been more thorough with my balancing and setting up the matches and stuff like that. Maybe, you know, maybe it could have been a little bit better. Maybe I should have done a little bit better and made sure that didn't happen. But it's for some people have loved it, right? Most people have actually really liked it, but I know there's people that did not have a good experience. So hopefully the stream is very exciting. All these players, very, very impressive. How far they have come. Very, very proud of them. I actually think that this match has not actually happened, the Vesper and JQL. So that's the last match that we're missing for our top 8. Yeah, I have not seen that match yet. So this is the last match that we actually have for mid-champion bracket. It's still very exciting. The players here, for the ones that I did get to sit in on, right? The matches I did get to sit on were amazing. I didn't get to watch Hooves. I got to watch on this one. I didn't get to watch this one. I got to watch this one. This came down to a Rylet versus a T-Surin. Rylet is at full health. Frenzy 8 match. T-Surin, Rylet has 5 stats of focus. Frenzy 8. T-Surin takes a turn. Violet Tasman Rylet. 80% chance to dodge. All comes down to, does the T-Surin hit? T-Surin hit the Rylet. It was the game 3 of this one. It was super hype. I saw this and I was like, what the heck? You know, the Rylet got killed. I was like, what? That's insane. It was super exciting. I got to sit in on TC My Friends and OIA's match, which was like, I only got to sit down in the second part of the match, but it was crazy close. It was a Champ C versus an A Tywin, Fawn Cecilia, and Kayron. The Fawn Cecilia and the A Tywin were both below half health, and the Kayron was at half health too. The whole team was at half health. The whatchamacallit, the Champ C was at full health with defense buff. The A Tywin missed all 3 provokes, which like he has a very high chance to provoke, which means that the Champ C didn't get to dual attack, and then the FCC goes for an S1, right, for the kill, for not to like kind of poke the Champ Serato, gets to provoke, but dual attacks with the Kayron, and then the Champ C gets to counterattack the provoke onto the Kayron, but hits the Kayron and the A Tywin, cleansing the provoke of the Kayron, allowing the Kayron to S3. It was like, dude, it's like, it's the only stuff, it's stuff you only see in tournaments, you know. It's like super crazy, right? Very, very hype. The other thing that I'm very hype about this one is that even though it's a massive bracket, we've done tournaments in the past, right? We've done a lot of tournaments in the past, and we know a lot of these names. Like we know Hoove, we know Small Cabbage, we know Lunar, we know TC. They've all been in a lot of tournaments. We know Hours, we know all these people, right? And we know why play this. This tournament coming up this Friday, we are seeing so many new names that I'm so excited. Ratatosk, very active in the Discord community. First time tournament, and he made it to the top 8. He beat his opponents and is able to climb up. Waffle Fluff, no idea on this dude, right? I don't know who he is. He's a watcher, so shout out to Waffle Fluff for subscribing and watching. New player, getting to fight against Faudal, another really new player. I have talked to him privately. Dude has improved like crazy. The first time I talked to him, he was trying to get into Challenger RTA. Now he's a contender for the prize in the mid-champion pool. Ours, of course, ours. Vesper and JQL, both people we have not seen before. Brand Muffin, I was like, this is crazy, dude. Brand Muffin made it to champion in RTA with a 42% win rate. They barely made it in. Barely made it into champion. And I thought they were going to drown in pools. Was able to beat 2 very good opponents on the way up. Brand Muffin, you know, proving that, hey, us new players, us non-RTA mains can still pop off. And then we have OIEF. From what I saw, he's a 6-month-old player. Only been playing for 6 months. His draft looks better than my draft. Dude's drafting like a legend level player already. And dude has only played for 6 months. First tournament ever, right? First RTA season. No seaside, no limiteds. He just has his good little squad that he built up. 6-month player, beat these 2 other players, made it to the top 8. Super, it's the new deal. I have very high expectations of Oaif and all these other players. The only players that we have returning are ours, who's a Cleave player, again, diversity, and Hoove, who is a Bruiser player, but primarily plays around with Ross. I don't think he invested that much, Colin, to be honest. So, very, very good stuff. Very, very exciting stuff. I'm excited for all the players and all the skill levels. Even if you invest in the game, there are people that have spent 2 years that cannot even get in a tournament like this far, right? So the fact that it's a 6-month player shows there's a lot of new blood that is really, really strong. So, pretty nice. He does not have SSB, by the way. But yeah, very, very exciting match. So, very good stuff. And then, of course, we have the high champion. These are people that are vying for the biggest prize pool. They are playing for over $100, right? Very big prize pool, right? Very, very spicy prize pool. JR Bleximus, it is currently too late. I will be doing another one this year. So if you subscribe and you join the Discord, you'll see the announcements and all that stuff, right? Oh, that goof, you got caught by Waffle Flow? Yeah. Hey, I'm not exposing rosters. I'm just letting people know. Oh, yeah, no SSV. Yeah, that's kind of a big one. Don't tell him I told him. He doesn't have SSV. I have no idea who's his opponent, so I can't give anything away on that. But alright. As far as this one, oh my goodness. Let me actually put these. We're still waiting on 2 of them, right? But if you see a name here, you may recognize it. If you're in the E7 community, you probably have seen the name Kia Soul before. Kia Soul is actually a streamer. So, hold up. I just remember when I saw Kia Soul, I remember I was private messaging him and I need to message him back. So, Kia Soul is actually a YouTuber, right? And he's about the same size I am, which is really cool that he actually participated in the tournament. That means he found it, right? That's dope. You know, I'm all for collabing with other YouTubers, right? And he's been playing a lot longer than I have, right? So, and been doing YouTube a lot longer. So that's Kia Soul. We're very similar in views and in subs and in all that stuff. So, you know, he's basically like me, you know, and he's participating, you know. This will be a premiere match because it's a YouTuber. So even though they're not on the top 8, I do want to, even if Kia Soul loses, I still want to showcase the match, which means that this match will be the first match that we see on stream. This will be the first match that we see on stream. Will be Maven against Kia Soul, which is a YouTuber. You can go check him out. Soul Kia. I don't know. That's his YouTube. That's why I couldn't find him when I put Kia Soul. But yeah, he's a Jamaican player. I personally don't watch his videos that much, but for sure check him out. Really, it's always nice to support each other content creators. But yeah, he's participating, so he will be a premiere match of the night. So he will be in the match, right? So that'll be pretty cool. Elias, yeah, that's tough if you have residency. I know that can take up a ton of time, Elias. So hopefully you're able to. But yeah, Kia Soul. So he's here. So I'm excited for that. So I'm excited for it. I'll see how he does. He's a premiere match. He'll be the first match that you guys see on Friday, promptly at 7 p.m. CST. So this will be the bracket that we do on Friday. And Maven, of course, really good guild player. Diedrich and Healer, both really good players, very well known in the Discord. Healer actually won the mid-champion bracket last time we had a tournament, right? So Healer meta, he went from winning the mid-champion bracket to now being a contender for the big prize pool. He's moving up. He's improving. This dude, Omega Big Brain. I don't want to give away their strategies, but Tav, if you guys don't know, he is a member of the #1 guild, Abandoned, right? He has some big brain drafts. This match is gonna be like, you guys are gonna be like, is this really Epic 7? Are these people really high champion? What are these units? What are these picks? What are these bans? What is this gameplay? It's gonna be hype. I'm probably the most excited for this matchup because both players are like off the beaten path players. So really exciting stuff on this one. Really hyped for this one. Kiaso, of course, a YouTuber, and Maven, a really good guild as well. Very powerful. Batrasi, I don't know too much about him, but I know he's participating in Shogun's tournament. Pokejunk participated in Squad Strikes last time. He was very early player when he participated, had a ton of potential. So I'm very excited to see how he has developed in the past. You know, maybe he's even stronger than me now, right? So that's really cool. Then we have Izanagi, who tried to get me to put him in mid bracket, but after looking at his credentials, I was like, nah, you have to go in this high bracket. He is nuts. Drafts, I still don't know how we'll be able to deal with his drafts. The drafts are super strong, super powerful. Then we got Scar, another veteran player, started from day one. Very powerful picks against Alpha Dragon, who is known to have insane matchups. I hate that I can't tell you guys about this guy's particular matchups because he has some really cool units built. Amazing showcase. This offline match was one of the most on the edge matches ever. Just so you guys get an idea, there was like 15% like nothing. Like it was insane. It was crazy match. It went to a game 3. It was crazy. Super cool match. So very good expectations on this one. And then we got Kumo and Maxilla. Sadly, the way things rolled, both of these are guildies. So they are guildies that are participating together. They got the bad luck of the draw. When I did the random, they got paired up against each other, which kind of sucks because we're not going to get to see too much of the guild, of Kumo's guild. We will see Maven though, but it's very sad that these two got paired off against each other, and they know each other very well. So we'll see how this match turns out. But as far as I know, Kumo is a player that could have made Legend, but was too lazy to. I have fought him several times in ladder, and he has clapped me every single time. I've yet to take a game off of Kumo. That's how good he is. And we played like over 6 times, right? 6-7 times. I have not been able to get a match off of Kumo. So we'll see if his guildie stops his crazy run short. But me personally, if I was to bet, I would bet on Kumo. If you're a betting person, I would bet on Kumo. And then, of course, Z Pendragon. This is a name in King Blair tournaments that if you've been here before, you know Z Pendragon. He was the very first winner of the high bracket tournament. He made it to the semifinals in the second one, and he's back to try to reclaim his champion slot. Same thing with Tab. He was the second winner of the tournament. So we have our Tab and we have C Pendragon, both previous winners of the high bracket. So it'll be very interesting if either of these players makes it to the top, because there are some really spicy players on both sides of the bracket. So really spicy stuff. So that's the brackets for that. High Champion will be this Friday, so make sure you tune in. Little League will be split between Friday and Saturday. It will be quite a long stream, so hopefully you guys can stay and watch everything, but I will try to tab it and make sure that we have all the information we need. And then, of course, the mid champion bracket, which will be on this Saturday, which is really cool. Really awesome. So a lot of good stuff. Very exciting, right? The mid bracket is just insane. Like, I just love seeing like tournaments like whittle down to like the top 8. So I love seeing this. The grind, the hype, the sweat, the tears, the salt, because there's always gonna be salt in these matches. So very excited. But okay, my voice is starting to give out a little bit, because you guys know I get very excited when there's topics I want to talk about, but I have to save my voice, so we have to end stream early because I need to be hyped for this Friday and Saturday. Both those streams, I expect them to be 5 to 6 hour streams, so I will be very tired after them. Because of the tournament, there will not be any videos on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because I will need a break from Epic 7 on Sunday. But there should be enough content to hold you guys for a very long time. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm gonna try to keep it quiet because I'm very hyped, and I want to save my voice, make sure I don't hurt it before then. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Shout out to all the members. If you ever see a green name on a stream, give them a quick shout out, be like, hey, what's up? Because it is because of them that I'm able to do a funded tournament with over $200 in prizes. Also, if you ever see Hufer in the Discord, make sure you shout him out. And also Chica, who goes by Cutie Potato, and also goes for like, what's the other Discord name he has? He has another weird Discord name right now, but I can't think of the top of my head. But shout out to them. If you see the pink name in the Discord, give them a huge shout out. They're helping the channel and the tournament be possible. And then, of course, to everyone who watches the video as well. If you watch the videos, if you subscribe, you're helping the channel grow. You're allowing me to be able to get more exposure, allowing me to get more video funds, allowing me to do more events for you guys. So very, very cool stuff all around. Greatly appreciate everything. Super hype. I cannot play it on the hype. If you're someone that wants to participate in one of these in the future, there are non-funded ones. The next one will be a non-funded one, and the one after that will be funded, which will probably be around end of summer will be the next funded one. Or even like early, like mid-fall, like maybe in October. Honestly, it won't be for a while. But if you want to join it in the future, either the other ones, and we fight a lot in the Discord as well, make sure you join the Discord. It's in the description of every single one of my videos. Click on it, join it, get in on it. It's great. It's good stuff. It's good stuff, right? So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for sticking around for the stream, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.